another podcast. I'm Fatui, and let's talk games. Well, another week has gone by, and the Tokyo Game Show is happening right now, or it's almost over, I think. Some nice things have come from that. We are seeing some new games, one from Grasshopper, and some small announcements. And of course some more of the same things. We haven't seen any new hardware development, no PSP2 and all that, but pretty much the same thing. But let's get started. Halo and Move have come out. Halo Reach, I finished it. It's a great game, and it's about 8 hours. 6-8 hours in a single player. I play that normal. It has hard and legendary, of course, and it has multiplayer, of course, also, which is focused a lot on. And the single player story is okay. I don't like the ending. I was a little bit disappointed that there's not that much of a connection from Noble Team, which you're a part of, and Master Chief. But that's probably you. Maybe some of you guys already knew that because you read the books. I haven't, and I'm sad about that. Not that I didn't read the books. I'm sad about the story not connecting. I really wanted to know a little bit more about where Master Chief came from before Halo 1. Why was he frozen in a cryogenic box? Where was he before that? How did he get his rank as Master Chief and all that? But maybe that's explained in some of the books that I might start reading. Anyways, okay game, shitty ending. Move, which came out 2 days ago, and I got me, as you see in the box video, a Move controller. And the navigation controller and a charger. And I got me the starter pack, which contained one of the Move controllers and the PlayStation Eye Cam and the starter disc. The starter disc is not the same as you get in the US. In the US you get a copy of Sports Champions, and Sports Champions is like Wii Sports, pretty much. It's different games, but pretty much the same. You have 6 games where you can play 1 or 2 player. And I will say this, even though you see in any demonstration that you need or you use 2 controllers, for instance, for arrow shooting and sword battle, you can play these with 1 controller. You do not need 2 controllers. That's a very, very important thing, in my opinion, that Sony and any other reviewer out there has failed to mention about it, because everybody's saying that, oh, you have to get the starter pack, and then you have to get an extra controller so you can actually play all the games that you get with the starter edition. No, you don't. Just need the starter pack, then you can play every game in it. Another thing is that from out of the box, with the newest firmware, the Move works with the cross media bar. You can move it around, so you don't need the extra controller, which I failed to figure out until later of the day. And you just move around with your motion controls, holding in the trigger, and just move around the cross media bars. It works great. It's fluid. It's fast. It's precise a lot, really. And the only thing that I gotta say is it's easy to hook up. And it works. Everybody's saying it's not working. I have a very small room, and I have a table in front of my TV, which is pretty much the same height as the TV bottom, and there's a lot of things on it, and there's no problem with me playing Move and having a Pepsi bottle or anything on my table in front of my TV while playing. So I don't know what Kotaku said, that he had some Japanese dishes, sake dishes, and cups in front of his table, and they disturbed his Move thing. I haven't seen that at all. The only thing I've seen is when you calibrate, and you will calibrate this before you need to use it, depending on how the light situation is in your room. You need to calibrate it once when you start the game, and if your light doesn't change at all, for instance, I have a window just above my TV, and when bright sunlight, the day I played it, when bright sunlight goes in, it works fine. You just need to calibrate it, and it works. But when, for instance, a cloud goes and covers it up, the light changes dramatically in the room, then you might need to recalibrate it. But that's pretty much it. It works. Just need to recalibrate it. So that's definitely one thing. But I don't know why he had a problem with it. You might need to calibrate it if your light changes dramatically. Either if you play in a dimmed light, where you probably normally watch TV and all that, it would work perfectly. And I can't say more about it. It's precise. It's great. It works. I haven't tried Connect, so I can't say compared to that, but I can say 100% that this gimmick, this controller works 100%. There's no problems with it at all. Not what I've seen so far. The rest, if you see you have troubles in games, upcoming games, that's probably the game itself or a calibration thing. So yeah, Sports Champions works. It's fun. It's like the Wii. If you play too much of it, you get sore arms, especially if you don't use your arm muscles that much to throw a controller around as much as it depends on in Sports Champions. But it's fun. I'm still waiting on a real game like Aragon's Quest, which has gotten horrible reviews. I know it's gotten a 6.1 from Game Trust, but I'm getting it the benefit of doubt and checking it out. A review is not going to scare me off, and it is the better title out there right now, in my opinion, to get. And I will say maybe some of the launch titles are a little bit weak, but I think Sports Champions might entertain a lot of them. I actually had a lot of fun playing the sword fight, which is pretty much the only thing that I find pretty much the most entertaining on the disc. But you have table tennis, which is really fun also because you can really screw the ball around, getting a good spin on it so it flies in different direction compared to where your opponent actually might think it will go. So it is 100% more precise than the Wii Remote, including the Wii Motion Plus. You can't match those. It's as precise as a mouse. So I recommend that if you're in the US, check out PlayStation Twitter, the US PlayStation Twitter account. They are twittering out a lot about GameStop, some GameStops, locations on where you can go try it and specific periods. They are marketing the crap out of it, so I think everybody should at least try it before saying it's a load of crap. After that, you can decide, is this something that you want or not? Because I'm not going to say you should buy it. I'm going to say if you want something, if you like it, pick it up because it works. Because I can understand why you will play it with a normal controller, and there's some games I probably will pick the normal controller, compared to this one here. But I think this here is definitely, there's potential in here. I see this here, as Michael Pachter have sent the Wii HD And we already you can check it out with Heavy Rain when the patch comes. There's the demo out. I can't remember if the patch has launched. I downloaded the demo with the move inside of it. I played it. It works. It is a little bit different. It's not like you will expect you do real hand movements, but the gestures that shown work. It's easy. It's just that easy. Maybe a little bit easier when you're doing the fight scene in one of the chapters in the demo. But it works. I didn't fail any of the controls. It takes a little bit of time to figure out what they actually mean with the icon that's shown. But after that, it's pretty much just as you played with the controller, just as responsive and everything. So it works. As for charge time, I can't say anything about it. I haven't used it as much. I can't say how long it will last, but it's probably going to last as long as a normal controller. It has the USB. If you don't have the charger as me, and you don't want to buy it, you can't just charge through a normal USB device. And you will, the first time to get it to work with your PS3, need to put it in just like you did the normal controller. Put it in, click the PlayStation button, and that's pretty much it. Well, enough about the gimmicks and all of that, and what I've been playing. Let's talk a little bit about news. And here we have the first news. Actually, it's not news. As I said, there are some Easter eggs in Halo, or the problem in I didn't like the ending in Halo Reach. You can see actually how you can see Master Chief in Halo Reach by doing what they're saying in this in this here their little YouTube video. Check that out if you want to find out where he actually is. See this Easter egg. Then we have a launch date for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's the end of March next year, so that's going to be exciting for Marvel vs. Capcom fans. And here's something that was really interesting. Here's the first gameplay trailer of BioShock Infinity, which is exclusive right now on Game Trailers TV. So you will have to click this video and find it. In it, it's a small section. It looks really great. It looks like they taking out what you call it, the plasmids and maybe something else in it. But it looks great. It's a lot of sliding on pipes and all that. Really outdoorsy stuff, but it looks great. And Kotaku was also for something else. Kotaku was on a Hideo Kojima a show, a TSD show where he was out, and he actually said that maybe he'll do Metal Gear Solid 5. So that's intriguing. I loved Solid 4, and if he's doing 5, definitely gonna buy that. I hope they do it. And since we're talking about stuff that might come or hopefully will come, Final Fantasy trailers for Versus and Agito was leaked. Here's some gameplay footage of the two games. They look awesome, especially Versus. Check them out as long as they're up before somebody takes them down. And we have a new trailer for Deus Ex Human Revolution, which some people say looks a lot like Blade Runner, but I said that before with the first trailer that it's Blade Runner, it's Ghost in the Shell. It looks great. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be more shooter based, but the others, which was more RPG based, especially the first one. But let's check it out. I can't wait for the game. It's great. It looks great. The CGI is great, at least. And here's some more Tokyo Game Show news. Ninja Gaiden 3 is released. Neo, it's called, from the new Team Ninja. It looks like probably they used the same engine, but only one screenshot, and that's pretty much it from that. But an announcement, Ninja Gaiden fans will be excited, and it's probably gonna be what do you call it? It's probably gonna be multi-platform. I don't think it's gonna be a one platform first and then platform the other. I think it's gonna be multi-platform at the same time. And here's a new Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 5 was announced also at Tokyo Game Show, and it looks horrible, or not. It doesn't look horrible. It's more like what you call it. It's a reboot. They changed Dante to look more like, as they said or heard they say that he looks more like he's styled after what is popular in the modern teenager rebel, which is pretty much crap in my opinion. And he looks like hell. I like the style a lot better, and I think they're gonna lose a lot of people there, and probably gonna win a lot of people also. Maybe depending on how good the game is, it doesn't look really interesting. It's rebooting it is wrong because all the Devil May Cries have done well, at least. Not a total failure and not a big flop, but the first one was the best, and then it's been downwards, of course. But of course, when you expect after free sequels to a game, something's got to change. But this here it's wrong. It's so wrong, in my opinion, doing it like this. But and I can't seem to find the article because the link that I looked down doesn't work. But I'm gonna fix that later. And here we have some more news about it, and this is about God of War. A clone, people saying, but it's actually not. It's called here it is, Asura's Wrath, and it's of course from the Japanese gods. We're talking about Buddha and all that, and it looks awesome. It's not the best graphics, but at least it looks interesting. It looks bloody. It looks exciting. It has a high pace. It looks like it's interesting. It's over the top action, as you will say. So I'm excited for that. Some nice news from that. I hope they're not gonna do that Japan exclusive. I hope that it's gonna be released worldwide. And here's what I talked about. Suda51 announced his next game, or a game called Shadow of the Damned, which is a third-person shooter. And Suda51 and Grasshopper Entertainment has made games like No More Heroes 1 and 2, for instance. And this Shadow of the Damned is a third-person shooter where you play a Cuban or a Mexican guy who hunts demons. It looks okay, but it's just like big jump from No More Heroes. It's totally opposite what I've expected for Suda for to make, but hell, looks okay. Some gameplay trailer out there. Check it out. It's awesome. It looks okay. We'll have to see more about it. I'm still a little bit skeptical about what you will call the character in there, because when I think the Cuban thing, it's like oh, what's that over the top game where you play a guy who can gravel hook, all that. Came out this year. It was a sequel. Just Cause, and that game didn't say me anything. The story was lame, and it was just blowing crap up. So I don't hope it's something like that. Anyways, God of War Goes to Sparta has gotten some pre-order bonuses, even though it's on PSP. But it looks like we're gonna get some original soundtrack, the God of War live creating directors documentary, and legendary character skin, and both PS3 dynamic and PSP themes. So that's nice, depending on how much it's gonna cost. And I hope they're gonna do this bundle, this edition also on PSN. The people who decide to buy it digitally. So I hope that. We'll just have to see. There's also going to be a hardware bundle. And here we have, this is a nice rumor, the PSP 2 in hands of Mortal Kombat devs. Yep, you heard it, people. The Mortal Kombat people from Industrial Games actually says they have a PSP 2 in hands, and they've tried to run Mortal Kombat on it with 60 frames per second, but they don't at the moment have a 3DS, so they're messing around with a PSP 2. So if it's that true, if that is true, then the PSP 2 is true, which in my opinion from this is more and more likely, and the specs we've seen with the small mini cell processor and all that could also be true, and that means this machine could potentially kick ass, and hopefully it has dual analog. But it looks like it doesn't have 3D yet, which can maybe be implemented, and maybe it won't, depending on. But it probably will, because especially Sony is hammering the 3D market, especially on the PS3. Sorry. So, and now since we're talking about the PSP and we talked about the PS3, let's talk about the PS2, which in my opinion, sorry, something happened just here. Excuse me about that. Since we all know that the first PS3 that came out, the 60GB version, had backwards compatibility to PlayStation 2 because the chips were implemented in inside the hardware, was taken out on the newer consoles because it was too expensive to put in, plus to slim it down and all that. Now they're actually they have actually patented from Kotaku sources that they're actually having an adapter that will have the chip installed on it, and through that you will be able to play your PS2 games on the PS3. Hopefully, if that is true, and compared to, if you see, well, a PS2 is $100 right now, $99 for a PS2. If it's only hardware, you need a PS3 for it, you could potentially get it down to $25, $30 maybe. Sell that, and you have yourself an add-on for people who want to play them. And maybe they're going to be bundled in. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be cheaper. And through that, you can play your PS2 games without any problems on your PS3. Which will, in my opinion, strengthen even more the PS3 as it is. But we already know that the PS3 is, or Sony is gonna HD revert some of the games we already know. God of War has been done it, and Ico is doing it, and Shadow of the Colossus. So other games are gonna be done. So that's pretty much it for me. This episode. Thanks for listening, and I'm Fatui, and so you can contact me at www.fatui.dk or through Twitter at twitter.com/Fatui, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening. Bye.